And streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, authorities in Iowa dig to a school shooter's social media looking for a motive. In Dallas, police investigating a fatal crash. Officials believe the driver was just 12 years old. And the Texas father and son arrested in the killings of a teen couple are facing new charges tonight.
The skies have cleared, all the rain has gone away, and we're set for a very nice weekend. There is another frontal system coming in on Monday with more rain, but you're going to enjoy the weekend, I'll tell you that. We'll talk about it coming up in a moment.
And the East Titans and West Warriors with some inter-city fun out on the hardwood. I'll have highlights and scores from both games in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. You may have smelled a strong odor in Victoria County. That's due in part to a petroleum spill at the Port of Victoria. 25 News Now reporter and anchor Adam Seibel is in the studio with more information on this chemical spill. Adam.
That's right, Karina. Shamrock Products LLC accidentally released about 300 barrels of a crude substance in the Port of Victoria. The substance was made up of a crude oil and diesel mixture with elevated sulfur content. First reports of the odor came from the southwest region of the county. The Victoria Office of Emergency Management, along with area responsive agencies, have opened an investigation into the spill. They have not detected any components above levels of concern at this time. Karina, back to you.
Adam, thank you. It is also important to note that the Victoria Office of Emergency Management learned about this chemical spill via an anonymous call. We've also received calls from multiple viewers in our area complaining about respiratory irritation and headaches. And this is going to lead us to your viewer poll this evening. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote. The question is, are you satisfied with how the Victoria Office of Emergency Management responded to the chemical spill? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 34% stand at yes and 64% stand at no. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. This afternoon, the Goliad County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 suspects after a vehicle pursuit in a silver Chrysler. Police say the vehicle wrecked and the 2 people fled on foot. However, they were located. Deputies also located a pistol the suspects tossed while attempting to flee. And now on to the latest on the school shooting in Iowa. Police trying to pin down a motive after they say a 17-year-old opened fire at a high school. A 6th grader has been killed and 5 others injured, including the principal.
Investigators pouring through the social media posts of 17-year-old suspect Dylan Butler, trying to determine a motive after police say he opened fire at this high school in Perry, Iowa, killing a 6th grader and injuring 5 others before taking his own life. Fellow students reacting to the news.
Was it a smart idea to shoot up the school? No. God, no.
Shots ringing out just after 7:30 on Thursday morning, the first day back from winter break. Police have not confirmed any motive.
We're going to need multiple ambulances. Multiple victims found.
Students running for their lives.
If school isn't safe, where are we supposed to go besides our homes? Where are we supposed to get a good education?
Police say Butler posted this TikTok appearing to be in a school bathroom with a duffel bag with the words, "Now we wait." 9th grader Anthony Ubaldo says he was inside that same bathroom.
I heard someone moving around and I looked through the little crack in the stall. He looked at me through the crack. He opened his duffel bag and hooked it up. My body just told me you're not supposed to be here, leave. It's just traumatizing because honestly, he could have just killed me then and there and I wouldn't be here right now.
A 6th grader who was at the school for a breakfast program killed. 4 other students also injured along with the school principal. Hundreds attending this candlelight vigil to honor the victims.
And this violence was unleashed in a small, tight-knit community. We're told people really looked out for each other in those scary moments. A band teacher quickly evacuating students from his classroom, then turned back to help even more students escape. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And now let's pause on the news and shift gears and take a look at your weather with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. That rain that was here this morning is long gone. It's out here in the Mississippi Valley. In fact, this is going to be a problem. It's going to turn into a snowstorm all the way through the Ohio Valley to New York. The good news for us is high pressure is coming in and going to give us a very nice weekend. And then we'll watch and wait for the next storm system coming through. Maybe a little cooler next week. So, it's not over with just yet. Stay tuned. We'll have more on your weather coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. A grieving family say they are finally getting some sense of justice after a loved one, along with his girlfriend and unborn child, were murdered. Wednesday, police arrested and charged a 19-year-old and his father in connection to these crimes. Now the family is demanding justice.
Upset, anger, all kinds of emotions just going through.
Gabriel and Raquel Guerra are breathing a sigh of relief after Christopher Preciado and his father Ramon were arrested Wednesday night in the deaths of their son Matthew Guerra, his girlfriend Savannah Soto, and their unborn child Fabian.
That was definitely a relief of mine that, you know, I can hold someone accountable. I've been talking about justice for the three of them since it started.
Gabriel and Raquel say neither of them know who Christopher and Ramon are. According to the arrest affidavit, Matthew and Savannah met Christopher to allegedly sell them marijuana. We asked the Guerras about that information after they had previously stated that Matthew was trying to turn his life around.
Matthew hasn't made the best decisions, but, you know, I make no excuses for him, but whatever he did, you know, I don't condone that at all. But that being said, like, no one deserves to be murdered, period, for regardless of what kind of activity you're in or what you're doing.
Now this case moves to the district attorney's office, and the Guerras say they want nothing less than the death penalty for Christopher Preciado.
Now it's on the DA. He had said something about the death penalty, and I'm going to hold him accountable to his word. And that's the next process for me, is him confirming that.
The district attorney's office said an additional capital murder charge could be added for the death of the unborn child, but that has not been decided yet. They also said the Capital Crimes Committee will decide whether to pursue the death penalty once the indictment comes down. Dallas police are investigating a Thursday morning SUV crash that killed one boy and left 3 others hurt. They believe the driver of the vehicle was a 12-year-old boy. Family members said an argument happened between the driver and one of the passengers who grabbed the steering wheel. That vehicle then smashed into a tree. Witnesses and police said they were speeding. There's no word on why children had been in the vehicle, where they were headed, or how a 12-year-old got access to the car in the first place. Hundreds of migrants continue to arrive in New Jersey on buses they boarded from Texas. The latest group was dropped off Thursday. New Jersey's governor says these political gimmicks are playing with people's lives.
With all due respect to the governor of Texas and others who I think are playing with people's lives, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Governor Murphy says he's tired of what he considers to be political gimmicks, the shipping out of migrants from Texas to cities like New York, Chicago, and Denver.
This is a national issue. We need Congress to take action. We need to, in a responsible, humane way, secure our borders. We need to find a pathway for the many millions who are here to some sort of status.
This morning, another bus pulled into Secaucus Junction. As families deboarded with blankets in hand, several told us they were from Ecuador and Colombia.
Mucho.
This man from Ecuador was just happy to be in the U.S. with his wife and daughter. Another man from Colombia explaining to us that he is here for opportunity. Since December 30th, 26 buses in all have delivered immigrants to train stations in Edison, Fanwood, Secaucus, and Trenton. There were a total of 1,200 people, all boarded buses in Texas. Amol Sinha is the executive director of ACLU New Jersey. He considers the treatment of these migrants to be horrendous.
These are people that have fled their countries in order to seek a better life. And not only are they being treated as though they are others, right? They are being treated as though they don't deserve the compassion and dignity of any other resident in the United States.
New York Mayor Eric Adams established new rules that buses can only drop off on weekdays between 8:30 and noon. But these drivers seem to be intentionally stopping short before crossing the Hudson River. Today, as has been the case since last Saturday, once these people got off the bus, they lined up and filed into the train station to board trains headed for New York City.
More buses are expected to arrive in New Jersey to avoid the restrictions in New York. And all this comes as Governor Greg Abbott continues to send thousands of migrants to Democrat-led cities in a protest of Biden's immigration policies, fueling frustration from Democratic mayors and governors. Biden administration officials say they have been looking into federal spaces to help cities house migrants. Officials are also talking to archdioceses to find closed schools and churches and identify military bases that might have the capacity to house migrants. The government already identified 2 federal sites for New York to house migrants, but Mayor Eric Adams says they still need more help. The U.S. Air Force says a B-1 Lancer bomber crashed yesterday at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. Military leaders said in a statement the crash occurred while attempting to land on the installation and that it was on a training mission at the time. All crew members on board were able to eject safely. While the crash is still under investigation, reports say visibility at the time was poor with freezing temperatures and low cloud covers. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, police in Montgomery County investigating a potential case of animal cruelty. Also ahead, snow and rain hit parts of the Lone Star State Thursday night into this morning. The Governor of Ohio has signed an executive order banning gender transition surgery on minors. The executive order announced today comes a week after he vetoed a GOP-backed bill that would have banned all gender-affirming care to minors. He also announced new draft rules adding regulations to gender-affirming care in Ohio, including requirements for a multidisciplinary care team, mental health counseling, and informed consent from parents.
I've stated my position, I think, very, very clearly that this is a question of the parents should be involved, not the state of Ohio, not the government. These are very difficult, very tough decisions that parents are involved in. They're the ones who live with the child. They're the ones who raise the child. They're the ones who love the child. They're the ones who should make the medical decisions in consultation with the best doctors that they can find. And that's the message that parents who I have talked to have given me.
The bill he vetoed last week also would have banned trans girls from taking part in female athletics. New data from the CDC reveals respiratory illnesses are impacting the U.S. from coast to coast. Nearly 40 states are seeing an alarming new levels of COVID-19, flu, and RSV.
Flu season still has a strong grip on the nation. New numbers released from the CDC show respiratory illness is spreading in more parts of the country. Researchers estimating 38 states plus New York City are now experiencing high or very high levels of these respiratory viruses. That's an increase from last week. A warning: flu, COVID-19, and RSV are still affecting the young, old, and everyone in between.
They have their greatest bad effect in people who are at high risk, older, with chronic underlying conditions, for example. But flu, for example, can take even a healthy person, a young adult, a child, and put them in the emergency room within 48 hours. We see that every year.
The new data shows a growing number of people admitted to the hospital, nearly 35,000 COVID hospitalizations as of January 5th, a steady jump from the most recent week, leading some hospital systems in multiple states to bring back indoor masking, from California to North Carolina and all New York City public hospitals.
They told us when we came in the huddle this morning. They said that we must wear masks. We got to work together, right?
The CDC encouraging people to get vaccinated, especially children and older adults. The agency says flu and COVID-19 vaccinations remain down this winter. And if you feel sick this season, stay home.
Wear a mask. If you wash your hands, cover your mouth, stay away from at-risk populations if you have been experiencing those symptoms.
The CDC believes that the flu is growing in 47 states, estimating 6,500 people nationwide have died this flu season. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A viral video posted online led police in Montgomery County to take over 30 dogs to the animal shelter. The video showed a pack of dogs herding a puppy at a home. The homeowners agreed to surrender a total of 37 dogs, including 14 puppies, to the Houston SPCA. Montgomery County has no laws to regulate how many dogs someone can own. Several dogs are under treatment for being underfed, having anemia, and other medical conditions. The district attorney is investigating to see if this is a case of animal cruelty. Heavy rain has caused widespread flooding in parts of southeast Texas today. This was the scene on Galveston Island just this morning. Residents and commuters made their way through floodwaters as the rain continued to fall. 3 to 4 inches had fallen before the line of storms finally pushed east out of the area. Locals said the flooding is typical on the island, specifically when it rains hard for a short period of time. Meanwhile, in the Panhandle, a winter weather advisory has been put in place as winter conditions moved in. Snow fell as a low pressure system traveled from New Mexico into West Texas. Cities like Amarillo are likely to see 2 inches of snow, while other counties are expected up to 6 inches of snow. Officials advise residents in affected areas to exercise caution and stay updated on weather developments as the system progressed.
Well, good evening, everyone. You know, we've been talking about that storm center. That's the one that produced the snow in Amarillo, heavy rain in Galveston. That was our rain last night and this morning, but all that's gone. It's a distant memory because we've got a good looking weekend coming up. 50 degrees right about now. We managed to get up to 69 today. What about that cool front? Well, it was more of a westerly wind of drier air that rolled in. We had some very nice rainfall totals around the area. We'll be talking about that and talking about the weekend and what to expect even next week. All that coming up. Well, good evening, everybody. We had some great rain overnight and into this morning, and then it cleared off. I mean, it just went away, moved along, and it turned out to be such a nice day. We had 1.84 reported at Riverside Park, courtesy of the Cocoras folks. That's the community collection to collect info. Anyway, they're the ones that take the rainfall totals. But the airport only got 8,400s officially. Placido got 2.27, Port O'Connor 1.16, Ganado got 1.70, and Blessing was really blessed with 2.75. So apparently the rainfall was heavier up the coast as the thing moved offshore. Now here we are, as you can see. Yeah, clear skies, absolutely gorgeous out there. All the cloud cover is in Louisiana, and all the rain is now in Alabama, of all places. Now, this is going to become a snowstorm, folks. It's going to go right up the Ohio Valley. Going to be a big snow. In fact, if you have friends and family, they're going to be, they're going to be stuck at home for the weekend because it's going to drop possibly up to a foot of snow. Now, as far as we're concerned, high pressure is coming in. It's going to give us a couple of really nice days if you have outdoor plans. Well, if you don't have outdoor plans, you should make outdoor plans because it'll be gorgeous this weekend. Here's Victoria, and as you can see, in the green is up to an inch, and in the blue is over an inch. And when you get into the purples over here, we're talking 3 and 4 inches of rain. So there's Blessing and all the way up to Bay City and over to the Brazoria County area. That's why Galveston got so much rainfall. That was all overnight, and it just cleared up this morning. There you can see how the country is actually feeling winter, except for us. Notice in the 20s, in the blue all the way up here, everybody is below freezing. So we have a 49 in Dallas, and of course we're much milder than that. And this weekend, you're not going to believe it, we're looking at mid-60s for a couple of days. Here's our storm. There is the snowstorm now. It goes away. High pressure builds in, gives us a couple of very nice Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll watch and wait, because as that moves through, we're going to wait for the next storm, which is developing in the Rockies, very similar to the last one. In fact, there you see it, Monday looks like a stormy day over Texas. That includes us. And it's going to be snowing in the Panhandle again. So let's just say that winter's not finished with us just yet. We're looking at your day planner, as you can see, for Port Lavaca. We're looking at a 45 morning low, 65 in the afternoon. We're going to call it partly cloudy at the coast, okay? But I think everybody inland is going to be looking for quite a bit of sunshine, getting up to 65 degrees tomorrow. That's pretty good for middle of January. Now, here's a 7-day, but I got to tell you a little bit more. All right, here we go. Good weather for Saturday, Sunday. Monday looks stormy. Then Tuesday, Wednesday on the cooler side, we'll get down into the low 30s, upper 30s as low temperatures. But I've been looking at the computers, looking at the future. January 15th, 16th, and 17th. That's when we're looking at about 3 days of below freezing weather here in the Crossroads. So if you haven't had a good frost yet, get ready for those days coming in. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. You know who has a phone? Mr. Zach Brown has a phone.
It's always a great time when East and West play in every sport. That was no different tonight, and I'll have that in sports. Well, anytime you hear East versus West, it's always going to be a fun one. But first, over at West High School, head coach Wimbush North and her East Titans taking on Coach Rankin Williams and her Warriors. To start this one, West won the tip when fired on all cylinders early to get the scoring started. They get a corner three from Charlie Scott. A few moments later, Isaiah Morgan finding the open girls. They get two more and jump out to an early 5-0 lead. The East Titans made some early mistakes and did not get on the board until Sanaya Randall went to the line. But in the end, the East Titans got it together. They get the win 60-47. The East Titans are great, but the West Warriors came out swinging and looked pretty good themselves. Should be a great year for these two. Over at East High School at the end of the third quarter, Titans leading 37-28. Head coach McDonald trying to lead his guys to a comeback, and they started off very hot, getting the lead cut down to just 5 points. But every time the Warriors would get within striking distance, East would always answer right back. Nigerel Prater had some big buckets, as did Jesse Gonzalez. And speaking of Gonzalez, the final play of the game, the Titans is trying to take the time down, but West says, I'm going to play to the final whistle. They try to get a last-second bucket. Gonzalez shut the door. Great atmosphere. Over at East High School, the Titans take home the win 53-42. East swept that series last year, get the win in game one this year. Can't wait for game two down the road. West head coach Cody McDonald actually complimented Gonzalez after the game on his skill set. The St. Joe girls have been on fire this year under head coach MJ Johnson, and tonight, well, they stay hot. They beat TMI Episcopal 56-28. Maddie Stefko with 28 points in the ball game. Presley Manning and Cassidy net three in double digits as well. The girls only allowed 8 points in the first half. AC Miori had the lone three-pointer in the game. More ladies hoops Shiner. They're fantastic. They're ranked, and they just did hang on over the Flatonia Bulldogs this evening. They win by 2. Final score 49-47, and they run that winning streak to 14 games. Another ranked team, the Cuero Lady Gobblers. They won without a whole lot of trouble. Final score 57-38. The girls remain undefeated in district play and move to 23-3 on the year and have run that winning streak to 11 games in a row. For the boys, tough loss. They lose by just 1 point, 43-42. They are now 0-2 in district play. They get John F. Kennedy on the 9th. JFK 2-0 in district play. In El Campo, the Rice Birds boys soccer team came into this year with so many expectations, and they got their first win of the year today. They beat Montgomery 2-1 thanks to a goal from Diego Gutierrez, which was assisted by Raymond Moreno. Moreno had his hands all over this one because he scored the second goal that head coach Audie Jackson says was a free kick from about 50 yards away. They get 6A Conroe tomorrow, so a great test for the Rice Birds. And earlier this afternoon, Astro star Michael Brantley has announced he's hanging up the cleats, and tomorrow the Texans, with a win, get into the postseason. That game at 7 right here on KAVU. Karina, back to you.
Zach, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we're going to take a last look at your weather. Plus, tomorrow is National Technology Day. We are getting a breathtaking new look at the most volcanic body in the solar system, Jupiter's moon Io. NASA shared these images on social media after the spacecraft Juno came within 932 miles of the moon on December 30th. It's the closest a spacecraft has come to Io in more than 20 years. Scientists hope the flyby will allow them to gather data about Io and its volcanic nature. NASA won't have to wait long for more data and images of Io, since Juno will be making another flyby on February 3rd. Now already, you guys, the next time you head to Target, you might want to be wearing a helmet. The reason being, well, Stanley, the viral company known for their trendy tumblers, recently released limited edition cups for Valentine's Day, right? So it has gone so viral that multiple Target stores across the country have witnessed physical confrontations. Still, these chunky cups have swooped the nation, and they're actually a great way to stay hydrated. Just, don't go whacking people for a cup.
Yeah, I'll use my plastic water bottle before I spend $99 on a steel.
They're cute. They're very trendy.
What is it? A cup?
It's a Stanley cup. You know what? My sister got my mom one for Christmas.
Like a Yeti or something like that?
Yes, it's like the new Yeti.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it.
I'm not going to do that.
Nah.
I wouldn't want to punch somebody for it, but I'd buy it.
But she'd think about it. She wouldn't condone it, but she'd think about it.
Oh my goodness. Well, Mac, let's
Looking
bump
good.
over to the weather.
All
Let's
right,
do that.
we're looking good for the weather for the weekend, folks. Lots of sunshine, mild temperatures in the mid-60s. You're going to be outdoors, I betcha, on Saturday and Sunday, but just get ready for another rain frontal system coming through on Monday. That last one that was overnight last night and this morning was beautiful. Gave us a very nice 1 to 2 inches of rain generally across the crossroads.
Alrighty, thank you, Mac. Now, Saturday is National Technology Day. Technology is all around us and ever changing. And, I don't know what life would be without technology, honestly.
A lot quieter.
Yeah, it's true. Like the city, but quieter. Or the outskirts of the city.
Technology Day. I thought it was Donut Day. That's more exciting.
No, that's Shortbread Day. That was
oh,
in the
Shortbread
Yeah, that
Day.
was in the 6th. All
Okay.
right. Well, thank you, Mac, and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Don't forget to join the weekend crew.